Okay, here's a song that Mike Hilton and I wrote for Paige Patterson, that Southern Baptist icon for all those years, so they finally figured him out and told him to hit the bricks. I had the unfortunate displeasure of having to have some dealings with him back in the 90s. He didn't like me either. But anyway, there's a long story behind this, but it's a song for Paige Patterson. Or maybe some other preacher, you know. I knew a man who wore a necktie, carried a Bible in his hand. He went around from door to door, calling people to the witness stand. Once I saw him turning handsprings my neighbors had believed. Their house is half built now in heaven, they're moving away from me, but they're on their way to heaven, a necktie in their hands to present to the Holy Father in defense of the Necktie Man. He'd subpoena me quite often to the testifying floor. I'd sit down on a little soapbox as he grilled me o'er and o'er. I'd pull close and listen closely. I strained my ears to hear. I got his name and his credentials, but the rest was all unclear. But they're on their way to heaven, a necktie in their hands to present to the Holy Father in defense of the Necktie Man. I admired him as a soldier, a gladiator for the Lord. His shield it was a holy Bible, and a necktie was his sword. He could cut a man to ribbons, dissect him where he stood. He'd wag his tongue as a diversion, while the necktie brought the blood. Gentle as a dove, gushing out with love, wounded oh so easily, but he never got enough. As a young man, he was walking on a very windy day. Suddenly, his necktie fluttered and sliced one ear away. Later on, he heard a calling to talk about the Lord. He'd talk in tongues of the Savior's necktie while his ringing phrases roared. But they're on their way to heaven, a necktie in their hands to present to the Holy Father in defense of the Necktie Man. I had a dream I was in heaven, apartment 33. My draperies were made of neckties, the management got them free. My carpet was recycled neckties, my facial tissue too. The streets of gold were swept with neckties, with every breeze that blew. Nowadays he never comes to see me, I miss his company. I know he's smiling onward somewhere, but he no longer visits me. I'd apologize profusely, I'm ashamed down to the bone. I didn't know I would offend him. I said his necktie was clipped on. But they're on their way to heaven, Compliments of the Necktie Man. Compliments of the Necktie Man. Well, I don't know what that was. But there you go. Fun with piano and the play gear.